Thank you so much for taking these 30 minutes to just reflect a little bit more on what coaching with Kendall has been like for both yourself as a leader and as your team. And I would just love to start this conversation by knowing a little bit more about, like, bring me back to before you started working with Kendall. What was going on both for yourself personally as a leader and with your team that really made you feel that there was an opportunity that coaching could bring some value there?
Honestly, when I started, I was having what I wanted help with the most was a way to express what I wanted to get across, a point
Mhm.
with, without becoming too passionate, but getting my point across in a professional yet impactful way. I was struggling with that as well as just almost in an overwhelmed state. So,
Okay.
with just lots of things coming at me.
And I'm curious, just for context, for others who might, also be able to benefit from this conversation, what exactly are the dynamics with your team? What are the high stakes in your particular area of work where this communication is really necessary and where this challenge was having an impact?
I think the dynamic of the team is honestly really good. The team is good. It's just a matter of getting people to listen the first time, being able to explain what I'm trying to say in a way that they can understand,
Yeah.
and just making them realize that I'm real and I want this for the best for both of us and the impact of the business. And just sincerity, I think, too.
Beautiful. And I'm curious, how many people are you in communication with on a regular basis?
Oh, goodness. I have a team probably of around direct reports. I have very few, but my entire team's around 75 people
Okay.
approximately.
Beautiful.
So,
And so you were describing that there's a lot of passion that comes through and you're wanting to get a little bit perhaps coaching on the way that passion could be communicated more effectively. You're saying impactful and effectively with your
that
team.
is correct. That
Yeah.
is correct. I think it just in a way that it would resonate with them and be motivating, but where they really understand and feel comfortable asking questions when they don't understand. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to be more approachable in that manner as well.
Beautiful. And what was the cost that you were recognizing of not having that skill set at the beginning?
I think the most frustrating was just the frustration level and not knowing where to start.
Mm,
Just trying to get everything in the line, setting goals, staying positive with results, and being able to express those, making sure that I'm rewarding people for their hard work. And
mm.
when I think something positive, make sure I verbalize that and put that out there.
So there just this frustration. The frustration was the biggest cost you felt in the
Right.
beginning of. And had you worked with coaches before Kendall?
No, she is my first.
Okay, amazing. Now, I would love to hear just a little bit more about what that experience was like. How would you describe your experience of working with Kendall as a coach?
My experience with Kendall was wonderful. I appreciate the fact that she's very direct, but she does it with professionalism and grace.
Hmm.
And she makes you answer the questions she asks you lots of questions to make you answer your immediate questions. So it's really great. She makes you dive deep, even when you're not comfortable diving deep, if you will.
Mm,
So, so she was gracious, always on time, always available, and it just felt good. It was a pleasure.
amazing. What else do you feel stands out to you about her coaching style and the impact that coaching brought for you as a leader?
What made me choose Kendall in the beginning was she understood the industry that I'm in, and
Mm.
she took great pride in being able to understand that. She had really coached some other people, but she really understood what we did and how our lives were impacted on a daily basis
Hmm.
with several different things, and being able to organize those and not be reactive, try to be proactive.
Yeah.
And so I really felt like she knew what I was faced with on a daily basis versus just starting from scratch.
Awesome. And that shared rapport and that understanding really helped you feel like you could go deeper with her. Yeah.
Right, that's correct.
And get that support that really made a difference.
Yes.
Amazing. Are there any, I'm curious, any particular sessions or tools or conversations that come to mind that really stand out to you?
I think the main thing was the consistency.
Mm,
So she made me show up at every session with my brag, my gratitude, and my desire for the week. And sometimes you don't want to slow down long enough you don't want to focus on that. You want to focus on productivity and hitting goals and results. And you just want to check those off. And you're like, I don't have time to think about my desire for the week. It's just to get my work done. But so she made me really dig deep and spend time thinking about those because she wasn't going to let it go. She was going to make me come up with something. So, and that got me in the habit of doing that. So I continue to do that so that I know I'm having some positive impact in my work week. So on Mondays, I just start the week with that. And also just setting goals personally and professionally, making sure I reach out to 5 different people every week and just tell them how they made a difference and that I
mm,
appreciate them. And sometimes those are so easy to forget or to say, I'll do that next week.
mm.
And she just made me prioritize that and realize it's super impactful and you have to make time.
Beautiful. I have chills just feeling that.
Well,
Feel-
it's honest, so
yeah.
it's easy to talk about.
Amazing. Beautiful. I love that. Yeah, both super impactful tools. And it's amazing how the little shifts that we just get consistent about can make such a huge difference when we apply them. And
Right,
we center some of those more personal inquiries as the foundational context to then the professional results, right?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Amazing. Anything else that comes up?
No, I think every session was impactful in its own way, and she introduced me to some great reading material, podcasts, and different things that just help continue to build upon, the foundation that she set. So I just continue that work as well.
Amazing. And looking back, what do you feel was the most important thing that you wanted to be working with her on when you got started?
I think communication really was the largest thing that I wanted to work on. And also understanding when I was going off path. So triggers, if you will, when someone starts playing with their phone instead of listening to what I'm saying. And I think what I'm saying is important. So just different things like that, how to navigate through that process. I think it just digging deep when you're preparing for something. Sometimes I'm not, I went to one of her classes and she said, prepare a 3 minute, speech. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. So I sat there the whole time and I was like, ah, yeah, yeah. And so I got up and I just talked about something. And that was exactly what she wanted me to do. But I was trying to write the script and memorize, and that's just not who I am.
Mhm.
So I think she helped me realize that it's just okay to just speak and be real. You know what you're talking about. Just feel comfortable with the ability to communicate that.
Amazing. And how do you feel that that insight is impacting a shift in maybe your leadership style or the way that your dynamics are within your team too?
I think that becoming more real and letting people know that I once was not comfortable with what they're not comfortable with, and how you just have to force yourself to keep moving forward, keep your path, and it does become more comfortable, or you find a way in which it's comfortable for you. Maybe not how it might not be my way, but you just have to find the path. We have to do the work. We just need to find a way to do it where it's impactful and not unsettling, not worrying about it. I think when you're ill prepared, you worry and you make it a much bigger deal than it is. So just coming prepared with your topics, not your speech, and just being able to communicate and relate with people. I think that's one thing.
Beautiful. Now, you use this word prepared. I'm curious, how did coaching with Kendall help you feel now more prepared as a communicator, as a presenter, as a speaker, and as a leader?
I think one thing that I did with Kendall, and she helped me on a couple of occasions, is just to prepare the notes and to make sure that I have a single vision, like what's the one thing I want to take away from this meeting or this conflict resolution that I may be having with a teammate or a coworker. And just making sure that I'm not packing too much into a short period of time to where we all leave and our heads are spinning. I just have a single vision that I want to communicate. And then the other things that are less important, I probably should schedule more time.
That the simplifying for,
Just to simplify,
yeah,
right. I
incredible.
want to fix everything immediately in record time. And sometimes that's not the way to do things. So just slowing down, honestly, breathing, listening to understand instead of just to respond and keep it moving.
Yeah.
It's hard because you just want to get a lot of things accomplished in one day. So it's just slowing down to make sure you're making the best decisions and using your time wisely.
Could you maybe share an example of how you saw that be put into practice, or you did implement that, or you witnessed maybe some of your direct reports start to implement these kinds of shifts in this slowing down, this more authentic, simplified way of communicating, and if anything comes to mind?
I think I haven't, I'm kind of taking all of my coaching and going to deliver it to my team in ways that they can absorb in the next couple of weeks. So I've been preparing for that. But I think one thing recently a counterpart said, your delivery was really good in there. You really had impactful statements and you came across in a powerful way. And I was like, perfect. That was what I wanted out of the coaching is that, they noticed that there was a change and that I didn't want to sell someone on my belief. I just wanted to be heard.
That's powerful.
Yeah, worked out.
And I'm curious, what other maybe new skills or capabilities do you feel like you've gotten from coaching with Kendall?
One of the most impactful things is what we think is the most important thing to focus on, maybe not. You can't really get to that point till you build that base and the foundation. And I think I'm trying to figure out the best way to put it, but I think that's probably the most powerful thing is you just want to go to the conflict, but you first need to figure out how you got there, where things went awry, and what I could have done differently as well as potentially the other person, and then making time to talk about it and better understand where they were coming from so that we could come to a amicable, what's the end result is just to solve it and everybody be okay with how we got here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm curious, what have you noticed is the most like present shift in your own way of operating that you're connected to on a regular basis because of this work?
I believe, honestly, it is to focus on the positive, and I'm a problem solver. So I just focus on the problems, things that come across my desk or things to solve, things that people need advice and help with. So making a big part of my day to be, let's find out what happened good yesterday. Let's focus on the good things. More comes from good than comes from bad. I can still solve the hard things, but just making time to say, hey, we really did a great job at this today. I think that's probably the most impactful because I felt like that was a waste of time. And it's not. I now realize the importance of that.
And what was it about the coaching that you feel really helped bring you to this conclusion in your
I think
evolving
it
leadership style?
I think it was several different things that Kendall walked through, processes, public speaking, the high stakes, the team coaching. I mean, there was just a lot of different methods that she gave me to work through that I refer back to a lot when I feel like I'm hitting a wall.
Beautiful. And how do you feel that that's impacted your confidence and your
I
resilience?
think it has affected my confidence and also just the resilience in the way that I'm not going to give up. If I am not being powerful in one way, I'm going to start again and figure out how to get the point across or to change my way of thinking. Like, am I wrong? Am I thinking about this the complete wrong way? Listening and really accepting others' feedback as okay, if this is how I made them feel, that's their choice, but what could I have done to really resonate?
Mm, that resonate. Awesome. How has this coaching helped to support your ability to win your market? Like when you think about your goals in the beginning around really shifting the way you're able to approach that, whether performance metrics or client relationships or just strategic positioning, where did coaching play a role in that goal for you?
I think the probably the way to best define that is just having everyone moving in the right direction. And sometimes if people, you can ask them to do something, but if they don't fully understand the why, they don't push as hard as if they realize we're all rowing the boat and we need everyone's help. And I think it was just different things about our conversation and team building and listening and just making sure everyone knows me as a person and my leadership style
Hmm.
to really get their buy-in. And some people I've worked with for 20 years. Those are the easy ones because they know me. It's the newer people that come onto the team or the new hires that you want them to really see that we're all moving for the betterment of not only our company, but our personal lives. Like we want there to be work-life balance as well.
Beautiful. So feeling that there's everyone on your team is aligned and moving in the same direction, and
Correct.
that really feeling like it comes down to effective communication in all of the ways that you present information and get people's buy-in and make sure that they understand. And that
Correct.
was by investing in the coaching that helped you better communicate and create that buy-in, create that aligned understanding among everyone in your team, that really creates a sense of cohesion and success together as a
Correct.
team that otherwise
Yes,
wouldn't be there.
correct.
Yeah.
Communication is definitely key.
Beautiful. I'm curious when you reflect on coaching with Kendall too, is there any moment that stood out as like one of the most edgiest moments in your own growth zone?
I think Kendall always handles herself with just professional and she gives you grace. So I don't know that I would ever describe it as edgy. But going through the work of my 360 and the comments and different things, it was powerful because I had to read those and some were great and wonderful, but the most impactful ones were the people that really were giving me their honest feedback in ways that I could come across better or show up for them. So I think that was probably the toughest part of the training because we all like to hear great things, but sometimes the constructive feedback is difficult, but needed.
Mm.
If no one ever tells you anything that's constructive, you don't really improve. So
So the constructive feedback feels like it was perhaps the most and edgy, but also deeply needed and
yes,
supportive and nurturing to your goals and your growth.
that is correct.
Yeah, beautiful.
But she's always straightforward and when I say something, she'll be like, "Did you mean that?" She'll call me out and help me get back to where I should be or how I could have shown up differently.
Hmm. Amazing. I'm curious, how do you see yourself applying what you received from this coaching moving forward in the future?
I really feel that being able to do this work with my team and seeing all of us kind of adopt the same mentality to make sure that we're doing self-care, moving forward, encouraging our team to do self-care. And I think it really will change their mindset to you can get more work done when you honestly start on a positive, have gratitude, and you show up with those things in the morning and you're much more productive. And then you feel better at night so that you can show up for your family or what you do in your personal time.
So that continuation of self-care being applied in the future, just the way that
Yes.
shifts culture in your organization and
Right. And that's with all of us, not just me, but the entire team.
and that's good for business, that you can see the direct
Yes,
correlate. It's good for ourselves in our personal life, and it's also really good for business that we perform
correct.
better, right? I'm curious if somebody else was considering working with Kendall, what might you have to share with them?
I would just tell them that she's able to take any situation and pull it, better understand, allow you to speak it out, but to pull you into the right frame of mind to see it from both sides of the situation. She's always positive, no matter what. And just the ability to be direct, but also have grace and passion for what she does. She honestly wants the best for all people, and that comes across in
Hmm.
so many ways.
Is there an example maybe that you might share of?
I think, I think first of all, she's very easy to talk to. She's personable. She never makes you feel like you're an inconvenience to her. I think she can tell when you have so many things on your mind that you're not showing up fully present. And she'll even say, okay, let's get through the content, but let me give you 15 minutes back in your day.
Hmm.
Um, she's very intuitive and I just, it felt genuine and real versus a performance, if you will. And she allowed me to talk about what was important to me at that time. She
Mm-hmm.
would come with agenda items, but if I wanted to divert and do something different to work on a project or get her advice, she allowed me to do that. And I was grateful for that.
Beautiful. Are there any areas that you are aware of that you know you'd like to continue still working on? Like now that you've completed this experience of coaching, what are you still aware of that you might want to keep growing in?
I've got a good foundation now, so I honestly want to make sure that I'm putting everything into practice and really succeeding at these things, and then helping my team get a grasp of this. And I just think I want time at this point to put it all into action. It's been a very busy summer. So I just want us to work on this by the time we get to our busy season next spring,
Yeah.
that we have all of this completely, we're all just aligned. So I'm pretty happy right now with just the foundation and making sure it remains strong.
Beautiful. So it sounds like this coaching was built a foundation for you, and now you feel equipped with the tools that you're going to now be focused on implementing to make sure that your team also has that foundation. That's
That's
the
correct.
is really making sure you understand the new frameworks and the new tools and solutions and support that can help facilitate this more aligned communication. And
Yes.
now getting your whole team to be feeling that sense of alignment and moving in the same direction is the work that's in front of you now that feels very clear.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. Very well said. Thank you.
I'm just making sure that I'm understanding and I'm with you. Beautiful. And I'm curious, is there anything else that you maybe wish that you'd experienced more of in the time that you were working with Kendall? Again, you mentioned constructive criticism and feedback, and I'm opening the, if
Um,
there's anything that you feel she could have done better that you would have liked to have more of or less of. This is just
You
an
know,
opportunity
I honestly can't. And
to.
I think that's because every session she gave me an opportunity to say, can we go back and expand upon X or help me? I'm still struggling with this one thing. I struggled with a lot of things throughout that made me open up and spend time in reflection. So honestly, I can't because I think we kind of did that all the way through the process
Mm.
and it felt good. It felt good.
Beautiful. Are there any final stories that come to mind or just words in your reflecting on what the experience has been like to work with Kendall that you'd like to share before we complete today?
She just fostered a more positive mental clarity as well as communication skills that I will carry for the rest of my life. So I appreciate her impact and time and effort to pour into me.
Well, thank you so much as well for taking the time to
You're very welcome.
show up for you, for your team, for your organization, and for having this conversation with me today, Greta.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So
Have a
great.
great day.
You too. Take care.